So that last video I did, saying to ask some of the people like Bonnie Costello, who was part of the National Nurses United, and Deborah Berger, she's another one up there. Ask any of them. Besides asking them why they would support open borders if they care so much about our healthcare system, which I know why they support it, because they're trying to destroy it. Explained it already. But here's something else. Why would they support gender-affirming care on children? They're nurses, right? Are they? Maybe they're not. Are they really nurses? Has somebody gone on the professional organization board and seen? Seriously, why would any nurse support gender-affirming care on children? Why would you disregard the evidence of the frontal lobe? Like it may breathe. It's just like nobody is mentioning the frontal lobe. I don't hear any doctor. And it's like the frontal lobe, hello, has everybody lost your mind? We don't let kids drink until they're 21. But you think a 5 or 10-year-old should be allowed to go and get a gender-affirming surgery done or be put on hormones? Do you know how irresponsible you are, Bonnie Costello and Deborah Berger and National Nurses United? Because you're not about those kids. What you're about is destruction. It could put you right up there with some more sons of perdition, some daughters of perdition. You're trying to destroy this country and using the whole nursing profession, as many as you can get, to help you do it. And for the stuff they can't put on their website, such as things like that would be way too controversial, which I would have thought that gender-affirming care on children a nursing website would not support that. They would be in opposition to that. But I shouldn't be surprised. National Nurses United, and I know so many, they support, they're totally opposed to the overturning of Roe v. Wade. Not understanding the reason why that's so necessary, why it's so necessary because of what the parts have been being used for. But then they have a whole news network. And that whole news network pushes all your globalist stuff at the United Nations, the WHO. That's who these people look to. So your National Nurses United, they go with what the WHO says. That's why people blew Trump off with many things, because they thought, we don't have to listen to you, because they just do whatever they want. That's why many of them should be arrested. Not because they didn't listen to but if you're not going to follow our laws, if you're going to come into our country, or you were born in this country and were stupid enough to miss the whole section on, how our Constitution works, and decide you want to overthrow it by getting in bed with a bunch of communist people at the World Health Organization, then quite frankly, then you belong in jail. You do. Because are you this stupid? It's one thing for our leaders, like the president, to work with the World Health Organization. But see, that's how it's gotten out of control. That's why I said the United Nations being dismantled and get them all out of this country, those people that don't belong here. But they're likely on foreign land there in New York, just like DC's on foreign land. So maybe just, we just have to do some sort of excavation and get it all out. I'm just kidding. But this is how you bring in communism, because the government can't do it outright, they use non-governmental organizations. So National Nurses United, but I think they would fall under a government organization if they get any funding at all from the government. It'd be interesting to see their books, because I'm sure it's filled with nothing but corruption and theft and illegal operations. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that they have a whole trafficking ring too, because everything they support is of harming children, killing children, killing freedom because of wanting to get on board with the United Nations through the global. And on their site, they have Global Nurses United. United Nurses Association that all tie back to the UN. So I look at them, those organizations, as that's who they follow. So since you're a bunch of commies, get out of this country. Because we don't allow that here. We don't. You can't run on a commie ticket. We allow a lot of freedoms. You're not allowed that much freedom. Not to push, but you come in as a socialist, right? And you push all of these commie agendas. You just disgrace. What really is such a disgrace is that the things they support it's against the nursing profession. And that's why I said these people that are members of these organizations, they don't realize they've been socially engineered by these people. That's why they have event planners. So they can do these events and pull you in and, yeah, you want better staffing, you want this, we'll get it for you. Just get all your friends to come on board with us. We'll get a vote. And all the while, all those people that are telling you that, they just have backroom deals that are going on with the CEO because they're in bed. They all serve this. They all are just using you. You should be infuriated that people would use your profession that way. Bonnie Costello is a complete disgrace. They even have RN Response Network and National Nurses United report on border conditions. So they support open borders. They go after ICE, okay? But they send out these nurses to go out to the border, and they were saying, they're almost in tortured conditions. Well, I said this before on my main TikTok channel. Then why don't you do the right thing? Any of you nurses that did any treatment there at the border, why don't you start telling Bonnie Costello, the head of your union, to demand that Biden not have open borders? Wouldn't that be the most ethical, quickest way to stop the problem? Yeah, instead of you fighting some political battle because you're up there with the AOCs wanting to take down ICE, wanting to take down people that are trying to keep law and order. Like that's how you know these are communists. These are the same people that what is her name? Toledo Rashid, she's a congressperson, and AOC and Ilhan Omar, they were all the people that promoted the defund the police. Why? Because of the same reasons you're watching your healthcare systems be destroyed. Because if you can defund, get rid of the police, take as much power away from them, it'll cause more crime, more trauma, more crisis in the country, weakening the country. That's what all of these people, misguided people, that's what all of these misguided people, and they're not misguided, they know exactly what they're doing, are trying to do. Everything they support is to weaken America, to harm others, and that's a nurse. What blows me away is why wouldn't you nurses, just run, fine if you want to support but I'm not going to argue that. No, but you will never be on the same page. That's an argument it just can't have it. Because it's just, you're never going to turn somebody else the other way. But, when it comes to gender affirming care on children and you're a nurse, why are you disregarding the frontal lobe? Why? Somebody please tell me why. It makes no sense except you want to harm children. So do you think that somebody that wants to harm children should be a nurse? Absolutely not. I get really mad about it because I don't understand how it is that it's just been totally forgotten. So they do all their own news reports, to keep their nurses, all those members in all those states that are under their organization, all thinking the same thing. Yeah, this is bad, Russia and Ukraine. Yeah, Ukraine. I mean, it's to all social engineering. If they can manage to get nurses to support gender affirming care in children, then do you not think that it's because all of those nurses that are members of these corrupt non-governmental organizations that are communists, all they've done is socially engineered them, constantly filling their heads with what they want them to believe. It's very easy to manipulate people. And since we have so many nurses that seem to not care about children and have forgotten everything about the frontal lobe and that they learned in nursing school, it should be crystal clear that they've all been socially engineered by Bonnie Costello, Deborah Berger, and National Nurses United, along with all the other nurses with the UN.